Your true potential in life and your true power in life really unlocks once you cultivate that deep, unbreakable connection and trust with yourself. Hello, hi. Welcome back to another Tao of Mary episode. Let me get comfortable. Today's video is going to be about the inner child, specifically how we can cultivate a relationship with the inner child and make the inner child feel safe. I want to break this down in an easy way for you if you're new to healing or if you're interested in healing your inner child but you don't know where to start. I believe that children crave four basic things. There are probably more. This is what I wrote down. Children crave love, acceptance, acknowledgement, and safety. All your inner child is trying to do when she's acting out, when she's self-sabotaging, when she's ruining your relationships and acting out of her old wounds, all she's trying to do is get those four things that I listed. All she's trying to do is to seek love. All she's trying to do is to be acknowledged, to be validated, to be cherished, to feel safe. Because you're operating out of your childhood self, you're going to try to seek these things in childish ways that aren't serving your adult self. So you really need to show your child self that you can take care of yourself. Once you cultivate that trust with your inner child through constant affirmation, acceptance, love, showing her that you can make her feel safe, that's when she's gonna stop running the show because she's getting what she wants finally. She's getting the love she craves. She's getting the acceptance. She's being validated. She's being cherished. So she's gonna quiet down because she's just so happy and she trusts you so much and she can rest finally. Allow your inner child to rest by showing her that you can be your dream parent. You can be that figure for her of unconditional love and acceptance. And she can trust you without a doubt. Show your inner child that she can trust you without a doubt. When you're beginning your healing journey, you should be guided by the principle that there is no one else coming to save you, and you are the ultimate parent who will be there for yourself always. The longest relationship you will ever have is with yourself, and there is no fantasy parent, there is no romantic partner who can replace that unbreakable bond that you can cultivate with yourself in this lifetime. Your true potential in life and your true power in life really unlocks once you cultivate that deep, unbreakable connection and trust with yourself. Establishing trust with yourself as your ultimate parent in life. For me, what this has looked like is becoming the inner mother. So to me, the inner mother is a place that I have cultivated inside of me. I have actively cultivated, and she is the space, she is the part of me that I can go to break down. She's the space that I can process any emotion in. There is no judgment, there is no criticism, there is just full acceptance for my essence, for my being, for who I am, past, present, and future. And it's such a magical thing to know that you have this space inside of you, to know that at your darkest moments, when you are at your lowest, you can go to this space to break down. And when we give ourselves the gift of that space, when we give ourselves the gift of processing our pain, being with our pain, what happens is magical because it's a space to rise from the ashes and for our pain to be transformed into love. Do you see how integral this is? By cultivating our inner mother, that safe space within us. That is a very powerful thing. We are transforming pain into a different kind of energy. We're moving from one energy level of being stuck, of being stuck in pain and suffering and moving it up to love, to joy, to abundance, to all good things. We're taking something that's very dark and heavy and we're turning it into light. That's so, so beautiful. During my healing journey, it was very important to me to be constantly checking in with myself and to be setting reminders to be transforming my pain into love. Every time I had a self critical thought, every time I berated myself, I put myself down, every time I looked at my appearance and told myself I was ugly or told myself I wasn't enough, that right there was my call. That right there was my call to check in with the inner mother and say, what would she say to this? Would she be telling me that I was fat, stupid, ugly, not enough? No, your inner mother would be constantly affirming you, constantly affirming your worth. And that's really what our inner child is craving. Our inner child wants to be constantly affirmed. Our inner child wants to be acknowledged. Our inner child wants to be loved unconditionally. Not for our achievements, not for the way we look. Our inner child wants to be loved for their essence, for who they are, for how they came to be on this planet, in this moment, right now. I've developed a list here of questions to ask yourself. If you're looking to cultivate more trust with your inner child, please ask yourself these questions to gauge where you're at on this level of trust with your inner child. Number one, do you trust that you will be fully okay always? I've gone through so many phases in my life where I didn't believe that I would always be okay because I didn't have that sense of trust for myself. And I always looked to other people to try to make me feel safe or to try to do things for me or figure things out for me. And that puts you in a vulnerable position where you're depending on other people. Yes, it is good to be able to accept help from others and to be cherished by others and have other people helping you, but I think it's very important to know, to have a deep knowing established in you that you will always be okay because you are always with yourself. And that's very scary for many of us because we can imagine ourselves, like it's hard to imagine ourselves without the people we love and without all these crutches that we cling to help support us and make us feel okay. I think that's a very scary thing, but it's a very empowering thing to know that you will always have yourself and be with yourself. And that actually allows you to love people more deeply because you're not clinging on to having it in your life. You can fully just open up and embrace the relationship for what it is. Because the reality is, anyone can leave you at any moment, anyone can die at any moment, and I just love knowing that I feel so deeply connected to myself that I will always be there for myself to make myself feel safe, to give myself what I need, and to provide for myself. That was one of the major blocks for me in my journey, was that I didn't feel adequate enough to provide for myself, to make my inner child feel safe. I didn't believe in my own ability to make money for myself, to find myself a place to live, to really be that trustworthy, independent parent that my inner child needed to feel fully safe. For a very long time, I lived in my toxic family home as an adult because my inner child was trying to resolve things that couldn't be resolved anymore. My inner child was looking to find love and acceptance in safety and fix a situation that couldn't be fixed. And what stopped me from getting out of that situation was the fact that I didn't trust myself to take care of myself, to make money for myself, to live my life. I didn't trust myself to fully live. And once you start establishing that trust, Miracles will happen. You will take leaps of faith and you will leap bounds in your life, and your reality is going to shift, and you will find yourself doing things you never thought were possible. I couldn't even dream of the current reality that I'm in because I was stuck. I was stuck feeling a lack of trust for myself, that I couldn't take care of myself. That brings me to my next question. Are you living somewhere unsafe? Do you feel unsafe where you live? It's nearly impossible to heal if you're not in a safe space. If you can't get yourself to a safe space, if you can't provide a basic physical need for yourself, which is safety, safe shelter, I don't think that you can progress in your healing journey. And that's something that needs to be a priority for you, is to find a safe space for yourself. The next question: do the people you hang out with and expose your inner child to make them feel safe? So this could be the people that you share your space with, like family members. Do they make your inner child feel safe? Do your friends make your inner child feel safe? Does your partner make your inner child feel safe? How do you respond to that? How do you respond when someone doesn't make your inner child feel safe? Do you dismiss her feelings? Do you belittle her? Do you ask her, what's wrong with you? Why can't you just be normal? Why can't you just stay calm? Why can't you just be like everybody else and brush it off? Or do you advocate for her when she feels uncomfortable? Substance abuse, depression, anxiety, feeling bipolar, feeling all over the place and crazy. This is a big sign that there is anger in us, that the inner child is carrying anger, that our boundaries have been crossed, and that we haven't been listening to ourselves. Depression is really a sign that we're not living in alignment, and you need to go back and examine what caused those feelings and that depression to occur. Asking myself, like, what's wrong with you? That's so mean to be telling someone that, and I would never I would never ask any child that for feeling an emotion. Your inner child's feelings should always be taken seriously, and learning boundaries with other people is so important for making your inner child feel safe, because that's cultivating the trust, is showing her that when she feels unsafe or when a boundary has been crossed, that you can stand up for her and you will make her feel safe. There is no doubt that you will remove her from unsafe situations and you will make her feel safe. And maybe there is grief and sorrow that you failed her in the past, and whatever happened in the past, you can heal. What matters is this present moment and what you're doing in this present moment to make her feel safe, to reestablish trust, and to heal. Because it is possible for the trust to be reestablished, but it takes effort and it takes commitment and intention. Another question to ask yourself is, do you treat your inner child like your own mother treated you, or whoever was the caregiver in your life? A lot of us unconsciously have a dialogue going in our heads, and that dialogue is the voice of our own mothers or people who we grew up with. And a lot of the time, that dialogue isn't positive, and we need to cultivate awareness around our thoughts to know what we're saying to ourselves on a regular basis. When she feels ignored, she's going to act in desperate measures to protect herself later on. And then do you get mad at her for trying to protect herself? Your inner child is operating out of what she knows, and what she knows is how she grew up. How can she act out in any other way other than what she knows? Um, it really takes so much awareness around our thoughts and our behaviors to correct these things and to foster trust with ourselves so we can start acting from a place of awareness and love. I believe that this is the most important thing that you need to ask yourself. Are you cherishing your inner child? I know for me that my inner child thrives when I'm cherishing her. My inner child thrives when I cherish her. And it's so much easier for other people to cherish my essence and my inner child when they see that I cherish her and I respect her. To me, cherishing my inner child looks like giving her a lot of time and space to process her emotions. I love journaling my feelings, being silly, dancing, listening to music, going outside, spending time in nature, really allowing myself to feel a sense of magic and play with the world. Life isn't meant to be so dark and serious all the time, and a lot of the times I'm guided by my inner child, and I'll tune into her and I'll ask her, "What do you want in this moment? What do you need in this moment?" And I feel like she tells me, like, something as simple as what treat do I want today, or what do I want to order when I go out to eat, and I'll let her pick, and it just makes her so fulfilled and satisfied and happy. Cherishing our inner child is really tuning into that sense, that part of us that senses magic and that loves to play in the world, and making time for creativity and silliness. And you can really look at this journey as something that's very fun. Sure, there are a lot of parts where you need to be aware, and you need to be aware of your triggers, and but so much of the journey is also teaching ourselves how to enjoy life again in from a place of safety, and showing ourselves that you can enjoy and embrace life, and it can be fun and magical and full of joy. Life can be that way, and I think that our inner child is the key to feeling that love and safety and play in life, because when she feels safe enough to play, when she feels safe enough and loved and cherished, when she knows that she's loved unconditionally and that nothing she does will make you turn against her, that is when she can thrive, and that is when your life will become magical. Healing the inner child is really a dance, and finding a balance between that playful child self and that independent, trustworthy, responsible adult. And all of us have both inside of us. And in order for the inner child to be healed, you need to show up as the responsible, trustworthy adult and cultivate the inner mother inside of you. Cultivate that space of unconditional acceptance. Be the parent that your inner child craves. You need to be that parent, not your partner, not your real life mom or dad, not anyone else. You're the only one who can save you in this life. This is one of the most important things you can do on your healing journey, and there is so much more that I could say about this topic. I'd love to hear about your feelings about the inner child and your experiences. Are you healing your inner child actively? Is it something you're scared to do? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more inner child healing content, spiritual content, to see more of my spiritual journey and to be inspired to heal. I want you to be able to come to my channel and cultivate a sense of joy for life. And I want to show you that it is possible to love life, to feel the joy, to feel the magic, even if you've gone through really hard things. I am wishing you an abundance of peace and love. You are completely worthy right here in this moment, just as you are, and wishing you so much love. Cut cord. Bye. Boop, 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 boop.